Grace is when I do everything I know to do in the physical reality, and I know everything I know to do in the energetics and the spiritual practices. I do everything I know to do, and then God does the rest.
What does grace mean to you in the world of business and in your life?
But my foundation for grace comes from the Bible. And grace is the thing that fills in the gaps. Grace is when I do everything I know to do in the physical reality, and I know everything I know to do in the energetics and the spiritual practices. I do everything I know to do, and then God does the rest. To me, grace fills in the gaps of all the pieces I couldn't know. Like, grace is the thing that makes it work together when it shouldn't. Like, grace is the thing that you don't deserve, but it doesn't matter. It's just going to be bestowed upon you in heaps. Like, I just feel like God has no problem doing all the things for us we couldn't do for ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really wildly self-sufficient. I take massive responsibility for everything in my life. I don't really spend any time blaming people or situations and things. Like, I'm just going to do it. And there's been many times where I did everything I could and it shouldn't have been enough, and it was. You know what I mean? Like, having the tiny audience I had for all those years, I just had the smallest audience, and I was becoming a multiple six-figure, a seven-figure, a multiple seven-figure owner, and it didn't make sense. How are this many people and a tiny audience always buying from me? Like, how did I, sell my first digital course I ever made? How did I make $10,000 off that when I didn't have an email list, a Facebook group, an Instagram page, or a Facebook business page? Like, how did it always work? How did I always find the right clients? How did I always get the money as an energetic match for when these circumstances and situations never should have been enough? You know what I mean?
That's
to
great.
me, that's grace. It's like, you believe, you decide it's happening, you know you're enough, and you let that unseen thing do parts for you.
Yes, that's beautiful. I love the way that you said that. Grace is the piece that fills in the gaps and where you hand things to God, basically. Right?
Yeah, well, I just say it's like, in my belief system, I decide what I'm going to get. I'm like, this is what we're doing now. I say, God, it is this or it is something better. It's kind of like, do your thing, God. And I don't know. And like, that's why, you would think for someone who's making like the kind of money my company makes, like $350,000 a month is pretty much what we've made most of this year. And it's gone down to like 230 and up to like 410, but it's pretty consistently in like the 300s. You would think that like it was all very structured, and we always have the same number of clients for the same price point. It's just always like, structured. And that's not how it is at all. Like, some months I only sell low cost, some months I only sell medium. I never very often promote my high cost, like over $10,000 price point stuff. And you would think it just like, I would just think that there's no way it could always be enough money. Like, how is that possible? If I only sold a $97 price point this month, and more people always sign up for my medium price than my low price, like, how is it always making sense? How is it never any less than my energetic minimum standard for what I'm available to receive? And to me, it's just like, because grace.
Yeah, it's also, and grace is this. What I'm hearing when you speak too is your grace is your faith. It's your faith that it's all handled. And you can let go and let God. And the grace is like grace is like the wind, the energy of grace is very like, it just comes in and it kind of like clears what needs to clear, and it brings in the magic of what needs to come in, and it moves what needs to move. It's very smooth, very gentle, and very powerful. And it's a very great feminine frequency to bring in when you are in overwhelm, or you are exhausted, or you feel like you can't do another thing. Because like you said, it's when in those moments that the miracle happens.